Recently, I was looking through old photographs and I found a photo that stopped me cold. I'm laughing with somebody that I used to be very close with at what looked like a party, and we looked very close, nearly inseparable. Yet, we have not spoken to each other in more than 10 years. And I can sadly, yeah, admit that that relationship has faded. Yet at the same time, yesterday, I was on the phone with a very good friend from the university. And even though we don't speak very often, within seconds that we were on the phone, we picked up right where we left last time, which has got me thinking about why do some friendships endure across oceans and decades while others dissolve within months? That is what we're exploring in this week's Heartstream. And what you may remember here today, it might just change how you think about connections and deep friendships in your life. Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm Gabriel Gonsalves, and I'm very glad that you're here. I want to give a very special welcome and shout out to Sonia. Sonia, nice to have you here. I hope you're feeling much better. Hello, Cindy's Heart. Hello, Veronica. Hello, Geraldine Kelly. Hello, Mariette in South Africa. Welcome. Welcome. I'm very glad that you're here. And if this is your first time joining us, this is where we gather every week to tune in, connect, and energize our hearts, and then also explore what it means to live from your heart and to move from the heads into our hearts, the longest journey you can possibly travel, and discover what it also means to lead a life from your heart in every area of your life. So, before we dive in, if you are finding value in these broadcasts, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done that. Share, like, comment. That always helps us to be discovered by YouTube so that other people can find this content. And then also, I want to give a special thanks to everybody that not only supports this work by doing some super chats, but by also joining the Sacred Heart Meditation Circle, which is our dedicated sacred space in the middle of the week for anybody that wants to go deeper in this work. So, several of you are part of the circle. You know who you are. Once again, thank you for your support. If you're not yet part of that circle, but you're curious about what going deeper in this work looks like, then I'm going to be sharing a little bit more about that a little bit later. So, today we're exploring the hidden forces that make friendships last, or perhaps not. We're going to go beyond the surface level advice about proximity and timing to discover what your heart already knows about true, deep, meaningful connections. And we're going to close with a very powerful meditation to help you release past relationships, those relationships that have faded, with grace, with gratitude, and open your heart to new soul level companionships for this next stage of your life. Sounds good? Yeah. Sonia is telling us over here she's feeling a lot better. Glad to hear that, Sonia. All right, so first I want to share a story about my friend Marcos from university. We met, my gosh, nearly 30 years ago. We studied different careers. He went into finances. I went into agribusiness. Then over the years, he became a financial consultant, and he still continues to do that. While I moved into coaching, spirituality, spiritual teaching, music, leadership coaching. And we could not be more different. I mean, he lives a conventional suburban life in the United States. I live here in Spain, and as you recall, 14 years in South Africa. And then I'm constantly moving between countries, living a very unconventional, creative life. And we really do share almost nothing in common on the surface. So there's definitely no proximity. We're on different continents, no similar life stages. I mean, he went ahead and got married, had children, got divorced. I remained single all my life, pretty much. We don't have any shared hobbies in common or interests in common. And yet, when we talk every few weeks, something immediate sparks between us. As I said earlier, the conversation picks up as if no time had gone by. We go deep immediately, talking about consciousness, purpose, life experience, meaning, what it means to live with integrity. And the other thing that also makes our relationship very unique is that we have a lot of laugh. We laugh a lot. We laugh tremendously. We tease each other. And in over 30 years of relationships of a friendship with him, I cannot even recall one time where we actually had an argument or we were angry at each other. Now, compare that to my college roommate. I went to Texas A&M University. We used to see each other every single day for 4 years. We stayed up until 3 a.m. talking, partying, smoking, drinking, you name it. We knew each other's secrets, and everyone, including myself, would assume that we would have had a bond for life. Yet, the last time that I saw him at a reunion a few years ago, within 20 minutes, we realized that we had absolutely nothing to say beyond, remember when? Do you remember what happened to? In the connection, it felt kind of forced and even shallow. Now, this paradox has really haunted me throughout my own journey of perpetual relocation. I relocated so many times during my life. And it got me really thinking about what it is that makes certain relationships endure while others fade. And so this week I found an answer that changed everything, which is why I decided to make this week's topic about understanding the unseen forces that make our relationships last. And so I want to share with you some of possibly the top 3 or 5 key ideas of an article that I wrote this week on my blog on this same topic. So if you subscribe to my weekly newsletter, The Feeling Hard, you may have already read some of the things that I'm going to be talking about. And if you haven't, then I'm going to also place the link in the description below this video in case you want to go deeper into this subject. So what I'm sharing is the top 3 to 5 ideas on this topic. The first point is that there's 3 surface pillars that actually help us create or develop friendships. And this is based on science and research that tells us that adult friendships depend on 3 things. First, proximity, timing, and energy. Proximity means that we become friends with people who are physically near. So college hallmates, co-workers, neighbors. Studies have shown that you're far more likely to be close friends with someone on your floor or that lives in your same building than someone 2 floors up. Not because of mystical compatibility, but because you bump into each other more. So there's a certain familiarity that you begin to develop when you start to see or meet people, see people frequently. Timing means life stages align, like new parents bond over sleep deprivation. I would know about that. I know about other types of sleep deprivation, but not from crying babies. Or it could be, for example, people who recently got divorced, who really understand and share each other's grief without explanation. A friend of mine in Texas, I believe he also was telling me, for example, after his divorce, he's made all these new friends because of joining a divorce support group for men. So this is the type of friendships that you make when something happens in your life, and you share sort of that commonality with another person. And then finally, energy means share interests and values. So that effortless flow when you both love, for example, hiking or spirituality or debating ideas until 3 a.m., binge watching the same kind of shows and then talking about it. You love the same kind of food. And so these three pillars explain why it takes about 200 hours to move from acquaintance to close friends. This is, again, scientific research. These things, proximity, timing, and energy, they create the conditions for a new relationship, a new friendship to form, but not necessarily what is going to sustain it. There is another pillar that is responsible or in charge for this type of connections. And this is what I call the heart lever pillars. So, what surface pillars can explain is why, for example, my friend Marcos and I remain connected despite having none of them, or why that college roommate feels like a stranger despite once having all three. And it's because there's deep down, there's something operating. And these are the three heart level pillars that I'm about to describe right now. The first is emotional connectivity, that immediate sense of recognition when you meet certain people and you kind of go like, oh, there you are. Have I met you before? Have you had relationships like that in your life? Have you met people that there's a sense of like, uh, I just feel so at home with this person. It's like I've known them all my life. All right. This is what Rumi referred to when he wrote, lovers don't finally meet somewhere because they are in each other all along. So, obviously, in the space of friendships, the same thing happens. There's a sense of familiarity. Some people don't feel like they're new to you, they feel like old friends. And this is kind of where this idea of soul level friendship can come from. Okay. It feels more like a type of remembering. It's almost like you already met them in a past life. And so we're not speaking about mystical romanticism. They're really speaking about something that I would call energetic resonance. There's something that vibes or resonates with them. All right, you can meet someone and within one conversation feel more seen than with people that you've known for many years. And this is what sometimes feels like what people refer to as your spiritual family. The second one is consciousness alignment. And has to do with the level of awareness or consciousness that you're operating from, and also the direction that you're growing towards. This reminds me of Eckhart Tolle, for example, that teaches that relationships exist not to make us happy, but to wake us up. So when two people are both committed to that awakening, to sharing the healing journey, to developing a greater awareness, to connecting and expressing their deeper truth, there's that alignment then that transcends circumstances. It's almost like you're both tuned into some kind of a similar frequency. And even if you're not talking, even if you're not expressing it, or if you're expressing it completely differently. And this is also, again, why I believe my friend Marcus and I remain very connected, because we're tuned into a very, very similar frequency. And we're both committed, to example, to our personal growth, to living our truth, and to living life with playfulness and with intention. And then there's a third item, and this is shared mission or purpose. So notice that it's not shared hobbies, it's shared mission. After decades of making and releasing friendships across continents, I noticed that the bonds that endure the longest for me are normally anchored here. There's an underlying thread of shared purpose that keeps my connections, the ones that are really most alive these days, even when time, countries, continents, everything shifts. And perhaps you're both committed to creative self-expressions or justice or healing. Okay, you don't need that weekly coffee date. You don't need that proximity. You don't need to talk to this person all the time, because it's almost like they are on their journey and their timeline, but it's almost like they are traversing like parallel timelines. So now I want to ask you, can you think of your closest friendships right now in this moment? The ones that feel most alive. Do you share a surface pillar with them, or a heart pillar, or both of them? Okay. And if you want to, please feel free to share on the chat. And by the way, I also want to welcome Ravender, who joined us, and Julian, also Mariette. Thank you once again for being with us today. All right, so the third idea, the third point that I wanted to share is about what happens when friendships then complete their purpose and they begin to fade away. This has been a topic that for me has been very difficult. If you are heart-centered like me and you develop very strong connections and attachments, when a relationship begins to pull away, you immediately feel that. You feel the void, okay? But here is what has brought me some relief. I remember my sister, when she was alive, she used to say, Gabriel, relationships are like milk. They have an expiration date. My sister was like very punk. She just called things like they were. So the point is, not every friendship is meant to last forever. And that's not failure on your part. It's actually grace. David Hawkins, one of my probably most influential teachers, taught that the world exists primarily for two reasons. One, the evolution of consciousness, and second, the accumulation of karmic merit. So if this is true, then I believe that relationships, which are part of the world, is also part of how we relate to each other and get to know who we are, then also exists for the same purpose. Every person who enters your life is participating in the evolution of your own consciousness. Every person that enters your life is also helping you either pay off some negative karma from a previous life or helping you accumulate positive karma that will bring good fortune, good health, etc. Yes, the one who trigger your deepest wounds show you what needs healing inside of you, what remains unresolved. The ones who break your heart, they teach you about forgiveness. Even those difficult relationships, they all serve a very sacred purpose. And this means that every relationship is, in essence, as the Course in Miracles reminds us, a sacred assignment. A teacher that is arriving, masquerading as your friend, here to teach you exactly the lessons that you need to learn the most. Here to teach you how to give and receive love. So that work friend who felt like a soulmate doing a project but drifted away, perhaps that assignment was to support each other through that specific trial. That emotional connectivity was real, but it was also temporary, and its work is now complete. That relationship that ended in heartbreak, well, maybe it was designed to break your heart open in exactly the way you needed to break open so that more light could come in to your heart and you could heal. The point is, when the lesson is complete, cling into that relationship out of nostalgia, because we do tend to romanticize relationships and believe that everything is forever. That holding on to them prevents new relationships, new teachers, new connections that could be aligned with your growth from entering into your life, which is why it's very important to live a life of surrendering where you're constantly maintaining your connection with your own heart and your heart's wisdom so that you can be aware of what are those relationships that are most meaningful to you, the ones that are teaching you the most at this moment, the ones that are making you come alive the most. And then also release and surrender those relationships that have fulfilled their purpose. So I want to invite you now to place a hand over your heart. And as we've been speaking about this topic, I want you to think about a friendship that faded, that you have both somehow grown distant and apart from each other. And then as you connect with your heart, I want you to ask yourself, what did this relationship teach you that you couldn't have learned any other way? Has that purpose been fulfilled? Now, if the answer is yes, can you honor that relationship with gratitude rather than grief? Can you complete this relationship, surrendering it, allowing it to be what God wants it to be without trying to control it, and then just let it go with gratitude and appreciation for all the lessons learned? Now, if you want to, you may feel free to share on the chat. Okay, I don't always get the opportunity to reply to every message here while we're live, but I always do my best to read all the comments. All right, so the essence then of this teaching or this article on understanding the deeper pillars that govern our relationship is that ultimately every relationship that enters your life is a teacher, arriving exactly when you need the lesson. And that when the lesson is complete, the teacher naturally moves on, creating space for a new teacher to come into your life. So, can you honor completion with gratitude rather than with grief? Yes, grief is a natural part of life, but it's what we normally tend to hold on to. And sometimes the resentment or the guilt or shame, blaming ourselves or blaming the other person for having the relationship fading or not being maintained or whatever. But if instead you moved away from the grief, the guilt, the shame, the sadness, etc., to a place of gratitude and appreciation, isn't that a much more powerful way to live your life? Now, my goodness, 28 minutes have already gone by. We're already on top of the hour or top of the ready for a guided meditation. But before we complete this topic, though, I want to send an invitation to any of you guys who feel called to explore these kind of topics at an even deeper level by joining our Heart Mastery Circle. This is an intimate transformational circle. It's a coaching circle. It's a small community that meets every Tuesday evening. Tuesday evening for me, 12 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. And through weekly live sessions, foundational courses, ongoing connection guidance, you get to develop a whole new set of tools that will help you navigate what is becoming more and more an increasingly challenging world emotionally. Highly charged world. And so you can read more, find out more about the Heart Mastery Circle by visiting my website, gabrielgonsalves.com/courses, where you can also read about the Sacred Heart Meditation Circle. And so, speaking about appreciation, I want to appreciate in this moment someone who is also part of my inner circle of close friends and people walking this path with me. And she may or may not be here right now. I haven't seen her. But her name is Mary Flynn. She's from Ireland. She is part of our Sacred Heart Meditation Circle. And this past week, I received two beautiful gifts that she sent me by mail from Ireland. And it's two beautiful books by the Irish poet John O'Donoghue, Anamcara and Benedictus, books that I have oftentimes quoted from, pulled poems from. But up until this time, I actually didn't own these books. I had just online versions of them, PDF versions of them. So now they are my bedfellows. They are my bed companions. And so thank you very much, Mary, for the beautiful gift, not just of your friendship, but then also of these beautiful books. And so with that, now I want to invite you now to move into a meditative space where we can put aside now all this information about friendships and the different pillars that hold them. The external pillars that have to do with time, energy, circumstance, proximity, all of that. And the other pillars that relate more to the heart. And then join me on a guided meditation to send the energy of love, gratitude, and appreciation, not only to our current friends, those people who are walking this journey with us at this moment, but also all of those who came before them. So I'm going to invite you to imagine yourself walking in this imaginary timeline and then looking at the friends that surround you, and then turning around and look at all the ones who are no longer part of your life actively, so that you can radiate your love and appreciation to them. And there is anyone with whom there's still an incomplete, for you to be able to send them love and set them free, while at the same time liberating or creating more space in your heart to attract and welcome new friendships, new connections in your life. All right, and then we're gonna then take that energy and propel it forward, send it forward into not just the person that we are becoming, but then also to the new friends that we're going to be meeting and encountering on our life journey. So that as we release these past friendships that have run their course, the lessons have been learned, the purpose have been fulfilled, then we can then create new space to welcome new friends into our lives. So I want to dive into this meditation by inviting you to receive this beautiful blessing, which comes from the book Anamcara by John Donahue. May you be blessed with good friends. May you learn to be a good friend to yourself. May you be able to journey to that place in your soul where there's great love, warmth, feeling, and forgiveness. May this change you. May it transfigure that which is negative, distant, or cold in you. May you be brought into the real passion, kinship, and affinity of belonging. May you treasure your friends. May you be good to them, and may you be there for them. May they bring you all the blessings, challenges, truth, and light that you need for your journey. May you never be isolated. May you always be in the gentleness of belonging with your Anamcara. Your Anamcara in the Celtic Irish tradition is your soul friend, that one with whom you can be your true self. Let us begin. It's hard time. As you gently close your eyes, take a few moments just to connect with how you're feeling right now in this moment. Notice if during this conversation about friendships, about completion, about grief and loss, if any of it has triggered any deep feelings of grief or sadness over the loss of a friend. It could be someone that you grew distant from, or it could be someone simply that passed away. You didn't have the opportunity to say goodbye. Just notice what's present and alive in you, and equally notice the deeper longing and desire within your own heart for connection, for new friendships, for your own anam cara, your own soul friends. Then begin to very gently to breathe into your heart. Breathing nice and slow and deep in and out of the heart. Imagining as if you could breathe through the chest straight into this energetic center. Breathing slower than you normally would. Breathing nice and deep with a nice and even breath. Welcoming any feelings, present and available to all the sensations of the body. Giving yourself permission to fully relax into the present moment, letting go of any unnecessary tension in the body, especially around the head, the neck, and the shoulders. You can let the world around you take care of itself as you focus on yourself, on your well being, nurturing your own friendship with yourself, offering the absolute and complete acceptance that God offers you in every moment. Just breathing and feeling. See, feel, and imagine now that you are standing at the center of an imaginary timeline. Before you, the bright, promising future. Behind you, the past and all the experiences and friends who got you here. Imagine yourself now standing in the middle, in the present, fully surrounded by those close friends, family members, those people who are part of your life journey. Some of them very close, friends with whom you feel a very deep emotional connection, others with whom you feel a sense of energetic resonance, you vibe similarly. Others, friends with whom you share a common vision or purpose. And then behind them, those with whom you connect. And perhaps the glue is not so strong yet. They're still friends. They're either friends because of the proximity, they live close to you see them regularly, or because you share a particular timing in your life, share different hobbies or activities. It doesn't matter. They're still part of your current reality. They are, in essence, your traveling companions here and now. As you look at them, take a moment to feel gratitude and appreciation for their presence in your life. And as you breathe into the heart, feel gratitude and appreciation for them, for the contribution that they make into your life, for their friendship, their love, their support, their kindness. Letting this feeling of gratitude, appreciation open your heart with each breath. With each breath, your heart softens and opens even more, radiating the golden light all around you that expands to every friendship, every friend around you, even the ones who are far away. Now imagine turning backwards and facing the past in this timeline, looking at all those friendships that have come to pass, the ones that have faded away, the ones that have been released because the person moved away, their life circumstances changed, friends who passed away, friends with whom there was a conflict, and for whatever reason they just simply left. And as you see, feel, and imagine all these friends that walk the path of your life with you for a season, radiate the light of gratitude and appreciation emanating from your heart. Light that says, I see you, I recognize you, I love you, thank you. Thank you for the lessons. Thank you for the healing. Thank you for helping me grow. I forgive you for anything I may have done to cause you pain. I forgive myself for anything I may have done to cause you pain. I forgive you for any pain you may have caused me. All is well between us. With gratitude and appreciation, I set you free. As you continue to radiate your light from your heart of gratitude and appreciation, compassion and forgiveness, you can see yourself completing with these friendships by saying a few words or just simply looking at them into their eyes as you embrace them and release them. Imagine now slowly turning around in this imaginary timeline as you now face the future. Your heart filled with gratitude, your heart filled with compassion. And imagine rays of gratitude and appreciation flowing forward, creating a pathway where new friendships are being created. This is a space of potential, new friendships, new connections. Connections that are heart to heart, soul to soul, filled with new experiences, new lessons. Send love to these future friendships. Friends you haven't met yet, but at the right time and given the right conditions, will show up in your life in the same way in which those past friendships showed up unexpectedly. The new friendships too will show up as you continue to walk the path of your life. See, feel, and imagine yourself in these new friendships. Imagining what it would look like and feel like to be with friends with whom you share a very deep heart to heart, soul to soul connection. Friends with whom you share an energetic vibration, a higher purpose, a soul mission. Sending also gratitude and appreciation, the person that you are becoming. Imagine now slowly coming back to the center of your imaginary timeline as you return now to the here and the now. And once again, see yourself surrounded by all those friends who are part of your current reality. Close ones and not so close. And imagine your heart light expands even more to not only radiate your heart light to them, but also to a world that so desperately needs it. Sending your heart's energy out into areas of the world where there is war, disease, hunger, suffering. Letting for a few moments this love to go out where it's most needed and do what love does. Love heals, love transforms. May you be fully blessed. May all your friendships be fully blessed. May your heart continue to shine its unique light, which will allow those special soul friends to recognize you and open their hearts to you. The good Lord continue to grace you with health, abundance, prosperity, wisdom, love, and joy. And may it all be done according to the divine will. For the glory of God and the highest good of all. Amen. Welcome back. Amanda says, thank you very much, Gabriel. It's very, very, very welcome. Geraldine says, I found some past friendships have also faded due to our values and beliefs going in different directions. Yes, it's all very, very common. It's all part of life, as my mother would say. Ley de vida, law of life. All right, my beautiful friends, we've come now to the end of our time together. And once again, I want to remind you that if you want to go deeper in this work, you can join our Heart Mastery Circle that meets on Tuesdays. So for people that want to go deeper on the topic of emotional self-mastery and what it means to really live and lead from the heart, or our Sacred Heart Meditation Circle that meets on Wednesdays at noon. This is more of a dedicated space where we come in, you get the opportunity to meet other members. We don't do the deeper emotional coaching work that we do in the Heart Mastery Circle, but we do meditate together on our hearts, and we also get to share our intentions and build also a deeper connection. So if any of these two opportunities call to you, I would love for you to join us. All right, my beautiful friends, we have come to the end of our time together. I want to once again thank you for having joined us today. I hope you're walking away not only feeling more connected to your own heart, but then also with a greater sense of gratitude and appreciation for those special friendships in your life, the ones that have supported you, and that you may have also used this opportunity to also to complete some of these relationships in the inner world of the heart by extending your gratitude and appreciation, and on also setting those friendships free. Thank you so much for being with me here today. Please take care of yourself so that you can take care of others. Until the next time, I send you all of my love from my heart to yours. Bye-bye for now.